All right, everybody, good afternoon. We've got some more Seahawks news, so we're going to take a short break from the free agency videos, the free agency primer videos, to talk about a new Seattle Seahawks head coach. We have a quarterback coach this time, and it's not official yet, but it is fully expected that this individual, Charles London, becomes the next Seattle Seahawks quarterback coach. So he replaces Greg Olsen, who replaced Dave Canales the previous year. So Charles London, not exactly a household name, but what quarterback coach is. So let's try to familiarize ourselves with what he's done during his time coaching football. He is a longtime veteran of coaching in the NFL and also some NCAA. So he's been around a while, and he does bring that NFL relevant experience, which is something that I've talked about. Now, admittedly, his experience is not anything that's going to pop off the page necessarily. Like what he did in 2023 might be the best, most notable thing that I can say about Charles London, honestly. He was the quarterback coach and I believe passing game coordinator for the Titans with rookie Will Levis. And he helped put Levis on a path where it looks like he's going to be a guy. He's going to be a good quarterback in this league. Obviously, I'm not going to put it all on Charles London's shoulders, but he was somewhat responsible for putting Will Levis on the path that he's on now, where it looks like Levis is going to be a starter in this league for some time, at the very least. I don't know if he's going to be great. I don't know if he's going to be stellar, but the rookie year went pretty good, and that's probably the best thing that he's done, at least in terms of this particular responsibility. Now, the question really is, what is a quarterback coach going to do on this Seahawks team as it's constituted right now? As of right now, our starting quarterback is a longtime NFL veteran who's been starting the last 2 years. I don't know what a quarterback coach is going to do for Geno Smith. And if we bring back Drew Lock, maybe there's a little something there. But Drew Lock's been in the league a while too. Drew Lock has played a lot of NFL football. He started quite a few games in his career. So a quarterback coach becomes far more relevant if you draft a quarterback, which we may. We'll see. We'll see how things play out. If you draft somebody, end up with some young quarterback, then the quarterback coach could really matter a lot. But realistically, I don't know if that's going to be much of a factor here. Also, we have to remember Ryan Grubb's been a quarterback coach his last couple of stops, so there's probably going to be a lot put on his shoulders in that role, and Charles London is just kind of there to help supplement that a little bit. So understand that our quarterback coach may not really have a lot to do in this first season here with the Seahawks. Nevertheless, if you take a look at the resume going backwards, starting with this most recent year where he was the Tennessee Titans quarterback coach, pass game coordinator, like I said, that was probably about the most impressive thing we've got on this resume, to be perfectly honest. And it's not great. I'll just say that up front. It's not stellar. It's okay, right? He took Will Levis, a second round pick, a highly touted second round pick, and put him on a path to where it looks like he's going to be a pretty good pro. So that's nice, but it's not like the immediate results were great. You compare what Levis did to what a guy like C.J. Stroud did. It's a pretty big discrepancy. So before his stint with the Tennessee Titans, he was a 2-year quarterback coach for the Falcons. The first year he was that was Matt Ryan's final year in Atlanta, and Matt Ryan at that point, I mean, he had been in the league well over a decade. It's not like the quarterback coach went in there and taught Matt Ryan anything that Matt Ryan didn't already know. It's not like Matt Ryan even played all that well. He played okay football for a quarterback of his age. That's really all you can say about it. So there's not much to say there. And then 2022 was mostly Marcus Mariota with a little bit of Desmond Ridder. And if you're looking at Charles London with regard to how Desmond Ridder developed, that's not so great, right? Like Desmond Ridder looks like he's just going to be out of the NFL in the coming couple of years. So he wasn't able to get him on the right track. And before 2021, he was a running back coach for a few different teams. The Chicago Bears, for 3 years, he was the running back coach. The main running back in Chicago over these 3 years was David Montgomery, who was okay. And then I think in 2018 they had, they had Tariq Cohen, but he was more of a special teamer than a running back. And in 2018, I think they had another featured running back, but nothing special. I don't think it was David Montgomery in 2018. But there was nothing really special going on in that running back room with the Chicago Bears. So going back to the Houston Texans, where he spent 4 seasons as the running back coach. So by the way, this makes him a Bill O'Brien disciple because he was also the running back coach at Penn State under Bill O'Brien. So this guy comes from the Bill O'Brien tree, which Bill O'Brien was not a bad coach. He was just a bad GM. So that's not a bad tree to come from necessarily. But you take a look at the running backs that the Houston Texans had from 2014 to 2017. The best one was Arian Foster in 2014. He made the Pro Bowl that year, but it wasn't really him, right? It's not like the running back coach went in there and was like, hey, Arian Foster, you've been in the league for years, but I'm going to teach you something you didn't know before. Arian Foster was a really good running back before Charles London got to coach him. So the main running back throughout the Charles London years in Houston was probably Lamar Miller, and he was okay. Nothing special, nothing too stand out. I think Chris Polk had 1 year there where he was pretty decent. Nothing stand out in that era, though. So there really isn't a lot to point to here that you're ultra excited about as a Seahawks fan, right? Like, you can go back a little bit further. He was a running back coach under Bill O'Brien at Penn State for 2 years. No, this was this was before Saquon Barkley, so it wasn't even something like that. Offensive assistant for the Titans team. That was the Titans team that started Matt Hasselbeck all year, and their offense was passable, I guess. He was an offensive quality control coach when the Bears had Jay Cutler. And yeah, there just isn't really a lot here that I'm like pumping my fist about. There isn't a lot he's touched that I'm excited on, admittedly. So Titans 2023 is probably the best thing I got here, right? That's the best I can do. It's not stellar. So yeah, I've been pretty effusive in my praise of the other Seahawks coaching hires so far because I think they've been mostly good. This one just seems to me to be like a guy. This is just like a guy. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can't stack your whole coaching staff. I'm sure prospective quarterback coaches are looking at the Seahawks job right now and thinking, they've got Geno Smith as the starter. He's already learned everything he's going to learn. He's already everything he's going to be. Drew Lock might be back. It's whatever. He's been in the league a while too. Maybe they draft a young quarterback, but maybe they don't. They don't have a top pick. They're not guaranteed to get a top quarterback. Like, what's exciting there? And also, you've got Ryan Grubb in front of you, and Ryan Grubb is a quarterback coach his last 2 stints in college football. So he's probably going to take on a lot of those quarterback coach-like responsibilities. So I'm not surprised we can't lure somebody a little more appealing than this, but this seems to me to be just a guy. The good news is his most recent job is his most impressive job, so there's that. But yeah, not a ton to say here for me. He's been in the league a while, right? He's got a lot of NFL experience. He's been coaching in the NFL for, in total, well over a decade. But most of it is just kind of like, oh, he was there. There isn't anything over here that I'm like, really, really, like, wow, I can't believe we're getting to get coached by the guy who did that. Like when we got Paul Amalu as the running back coach, I was like, wow, this is the guy who did Fred Taylor, Maurice Jones-Drew. This is the guy who did Dalvin Cook, Alexander Madison. Nothing really like that here. All right, so that's Charles London for you. Seems I'm not against it. I don't have a problem with it. I get the circumstance, but in a vacuum, it's he has a lot to prove. I guess we'll put it that way. See you guys later. Go Hawks.